You are in an ascension process. That ascension process is waking you up to who you really are, what you really are, how you really are. And that at times on the journey, dependent upon the soul's incarnation and the quotient of light that has been agreed upon, can be an extreme and extraordinary walk as human beings. So when we give this to you this day, we are in so much, the word would be reflective love for you. We are reflecting the love that you really are. You are magnificence in form. You are consciousness as form. In a body, you are form. You are the form of consciousness. If you can but see yourself that way, we say, always. If you can remember that there is not the person who you believe you are, it is not your job, your body, your way of being in the world, your defects of character or your pluses, It is not the things you have acquired or the things you have let go of or the things you have transcended even. You are eternal presence of awareness, of consciousness, having its expression through and as you in the remembrance that that is what is happening. So we say, as we reflect this, our ability to continue to expand our language through our beloved channel at these times as it continues on. So we have walked this road 10 years with her, and now there will be the years to come because people are ready. More and more of you are waking yourself to the next level of consciousness. Your photonic light expression is changing literally the connectors of your DNA and waking you up. The old, we want to say malignant, is this right? Malignant. Seems to be, could be. Corrupted, there's a good word for it. The old corrupted system that was in place and throughout many, many lifetimes, in part by extraordinary forces that wanted to have domination in consciousness, is not what you are now beginning to know that is necessary for you to experience. You are beginning to wake up from the dream. As you step into this path further and further and further and take yourself down, what we say some of our human friends call down the rabbit holes, for you to expand the potentialities of what you understand and to not be, as we say sometimes, spoon-fed the old ideas. If you are allowing yourself to continue on this path and awaken yourself over and over, more and more, and remember that you are the eternal presence of life itself, expressing itself upon itself, as itself, through itself, with each other as itself, you begin to understand that really you have not known what has been going on here at all. And when you come to that place, when you come in a full surrender to the utter knowing, I know not what is happening here, not even within me. When you have that knowing, and the knowing becomes a knowing of, how should we say that? Where should we say that? Release. Knowing not in the I am presence way. It becomes that you know nothing. You become the force of the availability to be full in receptivity. One of the things we would say about being in receptivity is it is in many ways, right? It is the divine feminine's nature to be receptive. As you begin to be more receptive, the codes that are connected to the force of the divine feminine, that is the mother head of all creation, becomes a part of the living matrix that you are, and you wake yourself up differently each day. To be in that doing, to be in that way, to be in that process, to be in that experience, direct experience, creates some instability, creates some not knowingness, creates even at times the insecurity that gets wrapped up around the idea of, I don't know my place here. And that is okay. It is also a part of the process, we would tell you. If this begins to be in any way a part of your experience, please know that you can stabilize. Please know that you can hold to the truth of the truth, that you will never die, that you are, and that, real dear ones, is often a place where fear is so highly activated, because when the threat of death comes, which comes through many forms, not just the idea of if I die, because some people carry this death energetic in relationship to, it would be easier if I died. Oh, I wouldn't mind dying. And this is a false program as well, because it keeps you away from the truth of how it is that you can surrender fully to what is, on some level, many layers of an ego death. As the egoic constructs, that which hold you to survival mechanisms in the world that became in place when you were a small child, for survival mechanisms, for the consciousness to stay in alignment with the physicality of being in form. You are now along the way in a process to let go, deconstruct, release, shed, melt down, that which is those programs, that which is the idea that there is fear around the feeling of death. The expression that you hold then can become, it is more like a literal rebirth, more than that. It is more like coming to new life. It is more to coming to the remembrance of I am the expression of consciousness, and I am on this accelerated path of consciousness awakening in a physical body, and through this body I am the literal miracle of life. So as this becomes a part of your literal expansion and experience, you can hold to the strongholds of your own beingness. Your own beingness becomes revealed to you as everything that which you are not falls away. And so we say, begin at the state of that which you know is something else within you. That is not the stress, that is not the fear, that is not the anxiety, that is not the to-do list, that is not the place where you think you must do or get somewhere at all. It is the place of presence. It is the place of awareness. It is the place of beingness of that which is here. It is not the mind. It is not even actuality, the heart. It is literal consciousness of all source energy. That is, sometimes we do note this pull into the conversation, the idea that some discuss this as not the personality or personhood, and not what you would consider no thought. It is in this in-between place where the truth lies. You are eternalness of being. And how you can live in the world as that expression definitely will bring up what is not, that is real. So when we speak about real, what we mean too is to say much of what is that you are perceiving in this worldly experience is not as real as you would think it is. Some speak about this, and we have spoken about this many times, as the matrix of which you are living and creating. And in effect, there are millions of matrices upon billions of matrices within this experience of the holographic life expression through your body, through the form in consciousness. So as this becomes more aware, what becomes here in your amplification of living is to remember that you are changing, to give yourself the grace and patience that is so afforded you at every breath you take in form. Give yourself the love, and remember that when you are perceiving changes happening out here, you are perceiving changes happening in here. And as you are in here experiencing those changes, what you will perceive out there begins to change. And the matrix connection begins to lose its stranglehold on you, and the authority of the sovereign being can come online and participate with all that you really are in consciousness. It's like, how should we say it? It is like if you have been running a car on fumes, if you are running on the lowest bit on your gas gauge, or there is just a bit more and you've been running on fumes, you've been going at the slowest possible to go as far as you possibly could on the lowest amount of gasoline or fumes in this car. And now we are saying to you, you have just been filled up. How do you handle that? Well, you handle that by perceiving to go at a bigger rate. But You cannot always go at that bigger rate. You have to understand how to operate the car. You've been driving it so very long on such a slow speed. It's been going so slow, and it has been taking so long, and you haven't known how to really anchor and hold that car, because if you were so afraid to keep it going at all, you would run out of fumes. We say once your car becomes fueled and you begin to learn how to drive again, you expand into the consciousness that you are, and the world and the life that you are having through and as you literally becomes a new life.